Now joining me in studio portraying characters in the upcoming Spirits of Binghamton's Past walking tours, John Darrow and Brenda Cave James. Hi guys, how are you today?
Very well.
Hello.
Good, good. Tell me a little bit about the Preservation Association of the Southern Tier.
Well, we are the local organization to reach out to if you are in need of some assistance for preserving your significant building. The Kilmer Mansion is viewed behind us. Robertson Mansion, you might hear something about them a little later. The Phelps Mansion, Trinity Church, Christ Church downtown. We go through both Broome and Tioga counties. It's a wonderful organization. We've been existing for decades, and if you have a question, if you have a need, reach out to Past, because without a Past, there is no future. We also operate a salvage bank at our offices at Depot Street, the first and third Saturday of every month.
All right, I love that saying, if there's no past, there's no future.
Very true.
That was amazing. It is very true. And so tell me about these walking tours coming up a little bit.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So this is our 16th annual Spirits of Binghamton's Past tour, where you meet ghouls and ghosts and spiritual people. It is the preeminent spiritual coming together in the community. This year you're going to meet such ghosts as
Margaret Cave.
Okay,
Willis Sharp Kilmer.
okay.
You're going to meet Slam Stewart. You remember Slim and Slam? He wrote Flatfoot Floozy with the Floy Floy.
I like that song.
Oh,
That's
so
one
do
of
I.
me and my dad's songs.
Also wrote 80 Chestnut Street. And he will be performing this year with his original bass on loan to us from Binghamton University.
Okay. And Brenda, can you go into your character a little bit, because I know she's very close to you?
Oh, yes, Margaret. She was my grandmother. Margaret was widowed at an early age with 6 children. My grandfather came from Barbados, and he died in 1938. So my grandmother took her gift of cooking and food preparation, and she had rent parties on Susquehanna Street at her home, and that's how she made her way out of no way.
Okay.
And had a respectable speakeasy going on.
Okay.
Respectable, no foolishness.
Yeah. Oh, never,
Just
never.
good food and friends and music. And as did many black women at that time, enterprising black women, when Susquehanna Street was quite a different place of black home ownership and small businesses. And when folks could not go into white establishments, they would go to my grandmother's house to eat, or go to her sister so-and-so's house for bed and breakfast.
Okay.
And I wanted to just give a nod to that whole era and to my very enterprising grandmother.
Okay, and I see you brought some things as well on the
I
table, so kind of
did.
explain what you brought here.
I did. The small one in the middle, that's my father. And he was also Binghamton's first black police officer, and he started the first emergency medical services in Broome County.
Wow.
That's my grandmother. She was a church lady, but she was a party girl. The middle one is my grandfather from Barbados and my grandmother when they were courting. And the one in the red frame, that's my grandmother, Margaret Cave, at a different age.
Okay, awesome. I love the church girl, party girl. You gotta have a little bit of both
yes.
in your life.
Can't be too heavenly for earthly good.
Yes, of course. So going on to the walks, tell me a little bit about the map and where you start, where you end, kind of how it works.
Well, you're going to start at St. Patrick's Church on the corner of Leroy and Oak Street. First tour leaves at 6 o'clock, leaving every 15 minutes thereafter. Tickets are $20 a head. We are selling out fast, so if
Okay.
you have interest, you should attend, get to it right away.
Okay, okay.
yes.
And why do you think it's important to kind of be able to show the history with these characters to people in Binghamton now?
Well, you drive by these homes and these buildings all the time, day in and day out, and so often you take them for granted. We're trying to put some life back into them. You drive by the Kilmer Mansion, which is up on the billboard next to you,
Yes.
and it's a Castle in town, but it was also home to the wealthiest man in the valley, who made over $40 million selling the great Dr. Kilmer's swamp root kidney, liver, and bladder cure. It's specifically right here, if you care for a taste, my dear.
Maybe later.
When Willis Sharp Kilmer was asked what swamp root was really good for, he said about $2 million a year. Now, he inherited everything. His father's mansion is in the picture. His mansion was next door. He went into thoroughbred horse racing, having the 1918 Kentucky Derby winner Exterminator, Sunbriar, who is direct lineage for Secretariat, if you've ever heard of that rather significant little horse that ran in the 70s and 80s. Sunbow, the world money-winning thoroughbred champion. Ocean-going yachts, private railroad cars, southern estates. $40 million in the turn of the century America was something very good, and I'm not horsing around about that.
Okay, perfect, perfect. And so I wanted to ask too, so this is your 16th annual, you said. Do you have the same characters every year, or do you have, how do you go about kind of choosing those characters?
Well, last year, actually, I was Margaret Cave's girlfriend, her best friend, Bessie Fawcett, who was quite the mover and shaker in Binghamton with her husband, Claude Fawcett. I represented Bessie, and the year prior to that, I was Amelia Logan, Binghamton's first black school teacher in 1852. So that's kind of new to the program, having spirits of color. And again, this year we'll have Slam Stewart, which he's phenomenal. He's phenomenal.
And his spiritual apparition will be Mo Taylor, famous
Yes.
for local radio broadcasting. Mo's a phenomenal talent.
Yes,
and
yes.
he's going to be playing that bass.
Very beloved.
Okay.
You're going to see different ghosts this year. Teague of the grocery store fame. Nellie Connor, she was the heroine of the clothing factory fire where all the young women burned. She was trying to save her girls and unfortunately perished at the end. In past, you've had the ghost of General Edward F. Jones, Ruloff, the murderer. Dr. Kilmer has made an appearance now and again.
Okay.
A
Rod
variety.
Serling.
Rod Serling will
Rod
be there.
Serling.
He has stepped through that door of imagination and will be present
Okay.
Friday evening.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, that sounds like a great group of people you have and that you have had in the past. And I want to thank you both so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have fun.
Thank you for having us.
It is fun.
Of course, of course. For those of you who might have missed those details, the Preservation Association of the Southern Tier is hosting Spirits of Binghamton's Past on Friday, October 25th, starting at 6 p.m. This walking tour will allow participants to meet notable historical figures from Binghamton's past, beginning at St. Patrick's School at Leroy and Oak Streets. Tours depart every 15 minutes until 9 p.m. with tickets available on the Past website. Join them for a captivating evening of storytelling and community.